The group I will be talking about is my family's annual Cousins Weekend at our family's beach house in a small beach town on the Jersey Shore. This social gathering, that I am incredibly blessed to be a part of, is a source of social participation and leisure for our entire family and occurs once a year at the very beginning of the summer, usually around the first weekend of June. Relatives travel from all over New Jersey, Maryland, and Pennsylvania to enjoy a casual and fun weekend at the beach, relaxing in the sun and enjoying each other's company, in a place that holds great meaning to all of us. We call it Cousins Weekend because for 4 generations it has been a gathering of family. Currently, it is a gathering of my dad's sisters and brothers, cousins, and all of their significant others and children. It is a reunion and a gathering that brings us back to our roots, back to a place where many of us grew up. This group follows particular norms, has a wide variety of roles among its members, is very cohesive, is at the end stages of group development, and partakes in both verbal and nonverbal communication. The group finds meaning in the meeting itself and the camaraderie of people, but also in the place in which the gathering takes place. A little beach bungalow located at 24 East Osprey Way, Ocean Beach, New Jersey. There are many norms that govern this group. These attitudes and standards of behavior that are acceptable to the group are what Cole describes as specified and verbalized, or as non-explicit and seldom verbalized. The only specified or verbalized standard is that hands should be washed before dinner. The typical call for dinner is not, "Dinner is ready," but rather, "Dinner is almost done, come inside and wash your hands." Some non-explicit norms are the way in which we greet each other, how we keep each other's company, how we help with meal preparation, and how we say prayers before meals. Every member of the group will greet each other upon arrival, and will say goodbye to every group member upon departure. This greeting is always accompanied by a short conversation and a hug. It is essentially a non-explicit rule that no one does anything by themselves. The children will go swimming in the ocean together with a few adults. The younger children typically boogie board and the older children and adults simply swim in the water. Those who do not swim in the ocean either stand at the water's edge and watch everyone else swim or sit on their beach chairs on the sand and talk about anything that is going on in their lives. When the children are not in the water, they play with sand toys, and my uncle will help them construct a big sand castle. If someone expresses a desire to go for a walk along the water and look for beach glass, at least 2 or 3 other people will join them. It is a non-explicit norm for all the adults to contribute to lunch and dinner in some way. Everyone is expected to bring food for the meals and prepare for meals, whether it be putting out the appetizers, pouring drinks for everyone, working on the grill, preparing dinner, or setting up the tables and chairs. Another non-explicit norm is the saying of prayers before meals. Everyone gathers around the peninsula that holds our buffet-style meal, says a common prayer, and waits for my aunt to say a blessing over the food. The group would not function as well if certain family members did not take on certain roles. My Aunt Susan takes on the role of the initiator-contributor, which, as Cole states, suggests innovative solutions to problems, unique procedures, and new ways to organize. If there is a problem with seating arrangement, she is the first to jump in and reorganize the setup. She also finds a unique way of getting the kayaks onto the cars, into the water, and stored after use. My Aunt Kathy also shows traits of the initiator-contributor, but in a different way. She follows this role, according to Cole, by suggesting new ideas. She always suggests new dishes and hors d'oeuvres each year, and in a way takes on the role of our master chef. My Aunt Joan takes on the role of energizer. Cole describes the person who takes on this role to prod the group into action or decision, and my Aunt Joan does just that. She is always the first to suggest the migration up to the beach or back to the house for lunch. She typically is the first person getting the appetizers out and is usually energetic enough to get everybody to follow her in the pursuit. My mother takes on the role of procedural technician. She, as Cole suggests, expedites the group's movement by doing things for the group, such as distributing materials and arranging seating. My mother is always helping in the kitchen, setting up place settings, and doing all those little things to set up for meals. Lastly, my Aunt Patty takes on the role of the opinion giver. She, as Cole describes, states the beliefs or opinions of the group by saying grace before meals. This group is very cohesive, and it is shown in how all of the members are sensitive to each other's feelings, are open with each other, have a deep sense of unity, and appreciate each other. The cohesive nature stems from the fact that this gathering has been happening for as long as all of us could remember. My grandfather bought the house in the 1950s, and my dad, his siblings, and his cousins grew up going down to the house for countless weekends. These weekends have always brought our family closer together and has been something that everyone has looked forward to every year. This cherished tradition has made the bond between the members very strong, has established unconditional acceptance and effortless cohesiveness. The members demonstrate cohesive maturity because, as Cole states, there is an emotional atmosphere of non-judgmental acceptance that is created in the group. We demonstrate this cohesiveness by talking about everything and supporting each other in everything. For example, if a student has homework or studying that needs to get done, the other students help them out. While we could be spending all of our time at the beach, we choose to help each other if the need arises. Cohesive maturity is further demonstrated in our ability to talk about things that are both positive and negative and provide support for either. We are able to show genuine altruism. For example, it is here that 2 of my aunts told us that they had cancer. It was here, of all places, that they felt, as Cole states, to feel free to disclose because of the heightened mutual support. It is also here that my parents decided to announce their love for each other in a deeper and more meaningful way by getting engaged, and years later announcing they were pregnant for a second time with me. Our family demonstrates the end stages of group development since our group is so cohesive and exhibits cohesive maturity. In fact, cohesive maturity is a term used by Yalom to describe the end stages of a group's development. Boyan would describe our group to be at the unite stage that settles down the members to a stable working group with relatively little emotionality. We show this by organizing and planning the event seamlessly and having stable emotions that are loving and supportive. Although emotions aren't shown to any extreme, there is an altruistic form of care that is present no matter how we outwardly express the emotions. Schutz would say that our family is at the affection stage that is characterized by expression of positive feeling and emotional investment in the group. We show this affection by making the members feel safe, cherished, and trusted in one another. These feelings are felt from the continued support, care, and acceptance of the group. My Aunt Patty describes our group as a safe haven where all our worry and fear disappears and where love has blossomed. This truly depicts how we value each other. Communication is important for our family, mainly for logistics, because we sometimes have up to 30 people attending the gathering, traveling from all over the Northeast region, bringing various dishes and potentially bringing a variety of beach supplies. There is a lot of verbal communication that goes into planning of the menu for the weekend and to planning who will be sleeping in the house that only has bed space for 10 people and who will be staying at my family friend's house nearby. Additionally, there is a lot of verbal communication as to how many beach chairs, umbrellas, and other beach supplies are already at the house, so people don't bring them unnecessarily. Lastly, there is a lot of verbal communication for figuring out parking. The beach club that sets the rules for our community does not allow cars to be parked on the sand roads at any time of day for any duration of time. So we have to squeeze as many cars as we can into the driveway, which usually fits about 6 to 8 cars, or ask our neighbors if we can use their driveway or park in a small parking lot a couple blocks away. Our communication is group-centered for planning purposes, so no one misses out on any important information. Communication only turns into dyads and triads among the drivers of the cars when figuring out parking. Our social communication is strong as well. Our discussion is typically group-centered. Both around the table, when sharing a meal, and when sitting on the beach, everyone shares the same conversation and contributes to the discussion if they wish. Very rarely is there a time that certain members of the group split into dyads or triads for conversation. Our nonverbal communication expresses closeness and unity by our sitting very close together during meals and on the beach. It goes unspoken that we will fit 8 people at an average-sized circular table on the front patio because 2 people can fit on each of the 4 benches, and it goes unspoken that we will place our chairs close together on the beach and in as close of a circle as possible. It also goes without saying that the children and Uncle Charlie will build a sandcastle close to and in front of where the rest of the group is. This strong verbal and nonverbal communication further shows the cohesiveness of the group. Our family is very cohesive due to its bond forming through tradition and in its strong communication among the group members themselves. But the real feeling of unity comes from the place. The little beach bungalow that sits in a small beach community on the Jersey Shore has been a place all of us hold very close to our hearts. This place has countless memories attached to it and has always been a place for relaxation, for peace, for love, for support, for family, for getting away from the rest of the world, and for the feeling of belonging. Since my grandfather bought this cottage about 60 years ago, most of us don't know a time that this place was not part of our lives. It has always been a place we have dreamed of returning to year after year. For most of us, it breathes the salty air of our youths. It is filled with childhood memories of running down the sand and rock roads barefoot, spending countless sweaty nights without air conditioning in a house full of people, eating every meal outside on the patio, and spending most of the day by the ocean just up the road. My aunts always joke that you are not a beach baby unless you have bathed in our kitchen sink. It is true for them as it is true for me. It's ingrained in our hearts as a piece of ourselves. It is not a place. It is a piece of all our souls. It holds the souls of the people who have been there before us and the people who will be there after we are gone. It has been and will always be a part of our lives, and it contains all the love any of us have ever felt for the place or each other. Since my grandparents have passed away, this place has an even deeper meaning to each of us. This gift that they have given us allows us to connect with and remember them while continuing to enjoy their little piece of heaven that they loved so much. In the end, this place isn't just special because of the memories or because of our annual gathering, but because of the wholeness it brings to our family and the appreciation of this wonderful gift we were given by our loved ones.